What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. I do apologise. I'd click live on my streaming software, but it doesn't seem to have been live, so I do apologise for that. I was live at 8 o'clock, but I seem to have just been talking to nobody, so I do apologise for that. Anyway, so on today's show, we've got lots to get into. We're going to be talking about a move for Fred. We're going to be talking about a fresh bid for Onana that has been submitted, which is really exciting. We're going to be talking about some more news around Amrabat to Manchester United. We're going to be talking about Dean Henderson. We're going to be talking about some new quotes that have come out from Rio Ferdinand surrounding the takeover. I know he really dangled the carrot in front of our eyes a few days ago, didn't he, guys? He was saying, you know, oh, something's going to happen tomorrow, this, that, and the other. So we're going to be talking about that. And we're also just going to be having a bit of a general chat about, we're going to be having a general chat about the takeover, how we're all feeling, what we think is going to happen. And yeah, we'll get into what the title of the video is about. The quote that's in the title of the video is something that Rio Ferdinand said, which I thought was really interesting. So we will talk about that further on into the show. And I do apologise, guys, for being a few minutes late. As I said, I had clicked live on my streaming software, but for some reason, YouTube wasn't speaking to it. And yeah, so anyway, we move. Let's get on with it, guys. Right, let's start off with some outgoing news because, as I said to you, I honestly think that this transfer window, the outgoings are just as important as the ingoings for me. We need to sell the deadwood. That's the priority this transfer window. So we did yesterday speak about Fred moving to Saudi Arabia. And we have had further news on that story. So we've had a story come in this morning from Simon Jones, who is a UK journalist, saying it is true that Fred is attracting a lot of interest from Saudi Arabia. So it does look like we will be seeing an offer from one of the Saudi clubs. We will be seeing an offer for Fred from one of the Saudi clubs, which honestly, if we can get rid of Fred, I'll be really, really happy. Like, he's not a bad player, but if he's moving to Saudi, surely we'll get at least 30-40 million pounds for him, I hope. Welcome to everybody who's just joining in the last few minutes. Do smash a like on the video and get involved in the live chat. I will be reading out some comments a little bit later on in the show, and I am going to be getting a poll going right away. So let me just get the poll going for you guys. All right, I've got a bit of a funny one this morning. Do you think Rio Ferdinand knows anything about the sale? All right, this is a bit of a joke one, all right? Obviously, I absolutely love Rio Ferdinand, but I think this is a bit of a joke poll just to let's have a bit of a laugh this morning. We've got to try and stay positive and have a bit of a joke. So the question for this morning's part of the show is, do you think Rio Ferdinand really knows anything about the sale? All right, we'll get into that in a minute. That's what the video title's about. We'll talk about the takeover a little bit later on, guys. But yeah, let's get involved in the poll. I think it's a bit of a funny one. Obviously, I'm just having a laugh. I love Rio Ferdinand and I love his content. But yeah, I think that's a bit of a funny one. We usually do more football-related ones, but let's just have a bit of a laugh this morning, guys. Do please smash a like on the video if you haven't already. So yeah, Fred to Saudi Arabia. I think that would be a good move for him. I really do. How old is Fred now? Is he about 30 years of age? I think Fred's about 30. Yeah, he's 30 years of age. I think Fred going to Saudi Arabia would be a good move for him. He could earn really good wages. We'd probably get a good fee for him. I think he has 1 year left on his contract, Fred. I probably would sell Mctominay before we sell Fred, to be completely honest with you. I do think Fred is a better footballer, but if we can get rid of Fred and Donny, then I think that would be a really, really solid transfer window. I really do. As well, guys, obviously in relation to the poll, let me just clarify. Obviously Rio Ferdinand knows way more than I do, so I'm not trying to, be mean about him, but I just thought it was a bit of a funny one just because, guys, everything's so serious at the moment. Everyone's so worried about the takeover. So I just thought it was a funny poll just to do. So yeah, I hope you see the humour side in it, and I'm not being serious, Anyway, so Fred, if we can get rid of Fred, guys, I think we should 100% do it. I really, really do. Welcome to all the regulars in the chat, by the way. Hope everyone is doing well this morning or this evening, wherever you are in the world. Let me know in the live chat and in the comments section, would you be happy to sell Fred this summer, or would you rather sell McTominay? I honestly think that Fred will go and Donny van de Beek will go. That's what's being reported, that Fred will be sold to Saudi Arabia, and Donny van de Beek is attracting interest from all over Europe. Specifically, AC Milan are really, really interested in Donny. I just hope for Donny's sake that he can go and get game time somewhere, because he deserves that. He really does. Like, he's not a bad footballer. It hasn't worked out for him at Manchester United. I do feel for the guy. He had injuries last summer. I hope he can go away, and I hope he can, kind of kick off his career, because he does deserve it, guys. He does. But that leads me on to the next story, which is around Amrabat. So I know a lot of you in the chat are really, really excited about Amrabat, me included. I 100% want to get Amrabat at Manchester United. So we've had another story come out from Simon Jones in the UK saying Amrabat is earmarked as a replacement for Fred, who has been attracting interest from Fulham and Saudi Arabia, whilst Scott McTominay could also depart. So it does look like Fred will leave the club this summer and Amrabat will be a direct replacement. That's what's being reported by Simon Jones in the UK today. They go on to say that Manchester United have rekindled their interest in Amrabat. He was a main target for Manchester United in January, but Fiorentina would not let him go. They are now ready to sell the midfielder for around £30 million. So what looks like is going to happen here? Manchester United look like they'll sell Fred to either Fulham or a club in Saudi Arabia, hopefully for around £20-30 million. That's what's loosely being reported. And then they'll buy Amrabat as a direct replacement from Fiorentina for around £30 million. As that article says, we were heavily linked to Amrabat in January. We nearly signed him. I assume as a backup for Eriksen, because remember, guys, Eriksen was injured in January, wasn't he? So I assume when we were linked to him in January, it was because obviously Eriksen was injured and then we got Sabitzer on loan instead. So there has been a long-standing interest in Amrabat. This isn't a new story. We've been linked to him since January we have. So yeah, I honestly, I'd be so happy if we go and get Amrabat. I think he'll be an absolutely incredible signing for us. So let's hope that happens. Let's hope Fred gets his move to Saudi Arabia. He'll go on massive wages. And yeah, I think we'll get a good fee for him. I really, really do. But let's move on to the next story. Please do smash a like on the video if you haven't already, guys. Yeah, doesn't cost any money. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe as well. The channel's absolutely flying at the moment. We're getting so many new people in the comments and in the live chat, which is super positive. So again, massive shouts to all of you regulars. We obviously had the Liverpool fan in the chat yesterday, which was a bit of a laugh, wasn't it? But it is great to see the community growing. And that's a great comment. So someone says in the comments, this is amazing. Someone in the comments is saying, is the reporter from Larea, which is the Qatar newspaper who put out the story yesterday, in prison this morning? That's the comment of the morning. That is amazing. I love that comment. I don't know if he's in prison yet. I don't, to be honest with you. As I said yesterday, apparently there's a 5-year prison sentence, isn't there, for putting out false news. But as I said at the beginning of the show, guys, to be fair to them, the story did say hours away. When you hear hours away, you think 1, 2, 3 hours, but it could be a million hours, couldn't it? You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how tight these rules are. I guess if they'd have said 1 hour and it wasn't, then they probably, would have ended up in prison. But the fact they said hours, that's quite loose, isn't it? Anyway, let's move on. I got a bit derailed there, but I do like that comment. Welcome, Liam. Hope you're doing well, mate. Someone asking about Amrabat to Atletico Madrid. I have not seen that, but I will have a look now. I mean, if we don't get Amrabat, that is literally a disgrace. It really is. I haven't seen anything on Amrabat to Atletico Madrid. Let me know where you're getting this story from. I mean, a lot of clubs are interested in Amrabat. I know Barcelona are interested in him as well. So, yeah, it will be a difficult deal to do because he is a good player and he's going to be available quite cheap. But I'm confident if Fred goes, we will be able to get Amrabat in. Right, let's have a look. So as well, guys, if anybody cares, today will be the day that Mason Mount gets announced as a Manchester United player. We will, of course, do a video about that. We'll get you guys' reaction. I'm not that excited anymore, to be honest with you, but obviously we've got a new signing. So yeah, today we will see Mason Mount in the new Manchester United shirt, for any of you who cares. Right, let's move on to the next story. We've got a bit of news around the budget that's come out. We've had another story come out today from the Manchester Evening News saying, Manchester United are keen on Onana. They will only sign a new goalkeeper for what they consider a reasonable price, as they battle with financial fair play concerns this summer, having set a budget that limits a net spend of around £120 million. So we've got another story coming out today saying that our budget is only £120 million and we're having to work within tight financial fair play restrictions, and ultimately you know, we don't want to pay the amount of money that Inter Milan want for Onana, which is just, this story is just being regurgitated over and over again. And it's so frustrating. Like, we should be able to go out and get the players we want. You know, it's not like we're paying over the odds for players at the moment, I don't think. Like £40 million for Rasmus Højlund, like that's a good deal if we can get that done. So yeah, let's move on to the Onana situation. We had, this came out 7 hours ago. So this came out about 12 o'clock this morning, UK time. Coming from Sky Sports, saying that Manchester United have increased their bid for Onana to €45 million. So Manchester United have officially increased their bid. This is coming from DiMarzio as well, Sky Sports, a few other places. Manchester United have submitted a new bid for DiMarzio, a new bid for Onana for €45 million. Inter Milan apparently continue to ask for €60 million. So we started off at 40, didn't we, Manchester United? Inter Milan said no, and now we've gone to 45, and Inter Milan are still saying 60. The story goes on to say that both clubs believe that they'll probably meet at a fee of around €50 million. And there was another story about Onana saying that Onana has rejected interest from Saudi Arabia in hope that he can push through a summer transfer to Manchester United. There is optimism that Onana to Manchester United will happen. So for anybody just joining, coming from DiMarzio, coming from Sky Sports, Manchester United have submitted a new offer for Onana for a fee of €45 million. But Inter Milan are believed to want around €60 million. I mean, what's €45 million? Someone's saying DiMarzio isn't a reliable source. I mean, guys, I think DiMarzio is a reliable source. He writes for Sky Sports. He's got 2 million followers on Twitter. DiMarzio used to be one of the best journalists in the world. He did. He used to be one of the top football journalists for a very long time. This is on the Sky Sports Twitter as well. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe people don't think this is true. As I said to you before, guys, like when something like DiMarzio, Fabrizio Romano, is literally on his thing. Discussions are still in progress between Manchester United and Inter for Onana. Manchester United have increased their offer to €45 million. Details below. Manchester United, Inter still want €60 million for the goalkeeper. This is literally on his Twitter feed. Oh my! Welcome, Billy Marsh, legend of the chat. Billy Marsh is back again. Welcome, Billy, mate. Hope you're doing well this morning. Honestly, I'm so glad to have you back on the stream this morning, Billy. Hope you're doing well. Someone's asking about Eric Bailly. So Eric Bailly is definitely up for sale. That was confirmed yesterday. Alex Telles and Eric Bailly will leave the club this summer. There was links with Eric Bailly to Real Betis, but that's gone a bit quiet now. Yeah, it's gone a bit quiet now. So I don't really know with Eric Bailly. I definitely think he will leave the club this summer because at the end of the day, he's not going to get any game time. He was out on loan last season, wasn't he? I do expect him to leave, but it's gone a bit quiet with him at the moment. It really has. Cornish Maid saying McTominay to Celtic is trending. I mean, that would be a really good signing for Celtic. It would be. What does everyone think about that? McTominay to Celtic? Because Celtic just sold one of their best players, didn't they, to a Saudi Arabia club, didn't they? Let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, who was it that Celtic just sold to? Was it Jota? Yeah, Jota. Celtic just sold Jota to Saudi Arabia for £25 million. So Celtic definitely have some money, and I could see McTominay putting in a bid. Let's have a read of a few more. I'm just trying to see this. Someone in the chat saying that McTominay is being linked to Celtic. I've not actually personally seen that myself, but I could see McTominay going to Celtic. I think that would be a good move for him. Yeah, so with the McTominay to Celtic. Right, okay, here we go. I mean, some of these stories, they're saying like 11, here we go. Scott McTominay to Celtic, he would be around £20 million in today's market and probably around 70 grand a week. I think the issue with Scott McTominay to Celtic, guys, is the wage budget. I can't see Celtic being able to afford Scott McTominay's wages. I can't, like, I think he's only on about 80 grand a week, but I'm just having a quick look. I mean, yeah, right. Celtic's highest earning player, okay, is on 15 grand a week. That's Joe Hart. The highest earning player at Celtic is on 15 grand a week. So I don't see how Celtic would be able to pay 70. I think McTominay's currently on 70 grand a week. I don't think that one will happen, guys. I don't. Yeah, that won't happen, I don't think. It makes sense because obviously, like, but yeah, I can't see that one happening. There's no way that Celtic are going to pay him 70 grand a week. Joe Hart's their highest earning player, and he is on 15 grand a week. So it would completely mess up their wage budget. It really, really will. Do get involved in the live chat if you haven't already, and please do smash a like on the video, guys. There's about 200 of you watching at the moment, so let's try and get to 200 likes by the end of this video. That would be an amazing achievement. And anybody who isn't a subscriber or part of this community, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. In relation to David De Gea, quite a few people in the chat asking about David De Gea. So as it stands, guys, David De Gea is a free agent. He doesn't play for Manchester United anymore. His contract expired on July the 1st, okay? So David De Gea is a free agent to talk to clubs. He's got offers on the table from Fenerbahce and from Saudi Arabia. He got married on the weekend, and he's believed to be back in the UK this week to go and have face-to-face talks with Manchester United. So as it stands, we don't know. As it stands, we don't know what will happen with David De Gea. I think there is still a strong chance that he might stay at the club as a backup, but that's just my opinion. As I've said to you on many other videos, I would definitely just keep David De Gea as a backup. I would. I think it makes sense. Let me have a look. Someone's asking what the highest Scottish League highest wage player. Yeah, I think keeping him as a backup would make sense. Okay, so anybody asking, the highest paid player in the Scottish League is Kemar Roof, and he's on 38,000 a week. So if Scott McTominay was to go to Celtic, they'd have to double. He'd be getting nearly double, if not triple, what the highest earning player in the whole of the Scottish League's getting. So I don't see that one happening, unfortunately. I think Scott McTominay will probably move to a Premier League club. I honestly do think, guys, I honestly think that that Scott McTominay will go to West Ham. I do. I think he'll go to West Ham. Declan Rice will leave. Scott McTominay will need a replacement. David Moyes really likes Scott McTominay. I can see Scott McTominay in a West Ham shirt. You know, he's not going to break their wage budget. McTominay is currently on, let me just double check for you guys. So McTominay is currently only on £60,000 per week. Okay, so he's on a reasonable wage. That's why he is a sellable player, because he's not one of those players that's been handed a ridiculous contract yet. He's only on £60,000 a week. The highest paid player in West Ham's team is Lucas Paqueta, and he's on 150 grand a week. So Scott on 60, their highest is on 150. You can see that move happening. Someone asking about McTominay to Newcastle. Obviously, Newcastle have just signed Tonali, so I don't think we'll go for that. Let's move on to the next story. Thanks for Cornish Maid for bringing this one up. So the next story is about Robert Sanchez from Brighton, a keeper who I really like. I think he's a really, really quality player. I don't know what happened with him at Brighton. He kind of got pushed out of the team, didn't he? And they've just signed a new goalkeeper, Brighton. They've signed that guy, that Belgian goalkeeper that we were linked to. I can't remember what his name is, but Brighton have just signed a new goalkeeper. So there's a story coming out in the UK today saying that Manchester United are in talks with Brighton goalkeeper Robert Sanchez as he emerges as a potential cheaper target than Onana. He would be available for around £30 million. Let's get a new poll going, actually. Let's get a new poll going. Let's end that one. It's about 50-50 on whether people think that Rio Ferdinand knows anything. Right, give me 1 second, guys. Do smash a like on the video. I'm just getting a new poll going. Who would you prefer as goalkeeper? Right. Sanchez. Do get your live chats in. I'll try and read out as many as possible. Onana. Okay, here we go. Right. So as I just said, guys, the story's coming out from the UK that Manchester United are currently talking with Brighton about putting in a potential bid for Sanchez. He'd be available for around £30 million. I'm not sure about him. I think he was really good at one point, but I feel like maybe he's like dipped a little bit, and I don't remember the last time I saw him play football, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, I don't know. I think Onana is a better player, I do. But at the end of the day, guys, as I keep telling you, Manchester United are operating on a strict budget. We've got £120 million to spend. The other option is as well, though, you've got to think, Brighton might come in for Scott McTominay. Obviously, Caicedo is going to leave the club and they'll need a replacement. I think Scott McTominay would do well at Brighton as well. So I don't think he'll move to Celtic, guys. I don't think that move will happen. I think he'll go to Brighton or West Ham, to be completely honest with you. Someone in the chat asking above about why don't we sell Fred to Saudi Arabia. So for anybody joining late, It's been confirmed in the UK today that Fred is attracting interest from Saudi Arabia clubs. So we will hopefully get an offer from a club in Saudi Arabia for Fred. I think we'll get some good money for him. So that's one to keep an eye on. Obviously, as soon as we get any more news on the Fred situation, we will, of course, go live. So please do subscribe and hit the notification bell. Anybody who's new today, by the way, we go live at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. UK time every single day. And if there's ever any breaking news, as you guys know, we do go live. So do subscribe. We were the first channel to talk about the story from Qatar yesterday. As I said, later on in the day, everyone else started talking about it. So do subscribe if you want to kind of get the news as soon as possible. We've got a story coming in just now about why Erik ten Hag wants Mason Mount. Because I know a lot of you in the chat, me included, I've been a bit critical. Why are we signing Mason Mount? We need a striker. We need a goalkeeper. Why are we buying Mason Mount? So we've got a story coming out from Andy Mitten, who writes for The Athletic. And he says, Erik ten Hag was a major factor in signing Mason Mount. He spoke in detail with the 24-year-old about how he could help develop him as a player. He talked about the different positions which he could play at and at the top level too. So I think for Mason Mount at Manchester United, I do really think that he sees him as a versatile player. He sees him as somebody who can play, you know, all across the midfield and in the kind of forward positions. And at the end of the day, I think he will do well, guys. We've got to support Mason Mount. I do think we'll get the official photos today for anybody who cares. And something else that I just wanted to throw in the chat here. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but Fabrizio Romano put out a tweet yesterday saying that Mauricio Pochettino actually really wanted to keep Mason Mount. So before any Chelsea fans try and say, oh, Mason Mount's washed, we didn't want him, we've mugged you off, 55 million, ha ha ha. Fabrizio Romano has said that Chelsea, Pochettino wanted to keep Mason Mount. So it's not like he's a reject that nobody wanted, okay? They did want to keep him. We have to remember that. So when the Chelsea fans try and banter you and, blah, 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 just refer them to that Fabrizio Romano tweet where Pochettino says that he actually wants to keep Mason Mount. Anyway, let's read on a few questions. Do smash a like on the video, guys. We've got like 250 people watching. Let's try and hit 100 in the next kind of 10 minutes or something. Red Devils United says, what about the links of Fred to Fulham? Yeah, so in relation to Fred, as I just said, he's linked to a few clubs at the moment. He's linked to Fulham, he's linked to Roma, and he's linked to Saudi Arabian clubs, which, to be honest with you, is only a positive. The fact that there's at least three different clubs who want Fred means that we probably will sell him, and probably for a good price. If there's just one club and it's the last day of the window and we just need to get rid of players, obviously we'll get not very good prices. But the fact that there's lots and lots of different clubs who are interested in him, specifically Saudi Arabia, I mean, they're paying ridiculous amounts of money for people, aren't they? As I said, they just bought that guy from Celtic for like £30 million. Yeah, as Alex Reed says, we just took Chelsea's Rashford. We did. Mason Mount's been at Chelsea since he was 6 years old. Like, that is crazy. It's going to feel weird to see Mason Mount in a Manchester United shirt. Like, imagine if Rashford moved to Arsenal or to Chelsea. Like, that's exactly what's happened here. So we've literally just taken their golden boy. Like, let's remind those Chelsea fans what's actually gone on here. What have we got? Right, let's move on to the next story. Welcome, Fred. Hope you're doing well, mate. Welcome to all the regulars in the chat. And, of course, welcome to all of the new people. Yeah, as Liam says, we might get a bidding war here. We might have the Fred bidding war, We might have Fulham coming in. We might have Fenerbahce. We might have Saudi Arabia. You never know, guys. We might get a good fee for Fred. I hope we do. Okay, let's move on to the next story. We've got a story about Dean Henderson. Now, this isn't the most glamorous story of the day, but it is a news show. I do bring you the news, and we do discuss it. So let's talk about Dean Henderson. So it's coming out from Manchester Evening News that Dean Henderson wants to play first-team football at Manchester United. They will hold talks with him over his plans and whether he wants to stay at the club or leave. Although a sale is unlikely before there is a clear plan for the goalkeeper. I mean, it's not great, is it? We're not really showing much determination, Manchester United are going to have a meeting with Dean Henderson and ask him whether he plans to stay or leave. I mean, we need to get Dean Henderson in the first day he's back from training. And we need to tell him he's not part of the plans and he needs to leave the club. That's what needs to happen, okay? Dean Henderson does not need to be at Manchester United. And when you get stories like this coming out from Manchester Evening News saying that they're going to sit down with him and see whether he wants to stay or leave, I mean, no, that isn't what should happen. They should just tell him, Dean Henderson, you're leaving the club. Like, we don't need you here anymore. But in all likelihood, our first pre-season game is 1 week today, right? We play Leeds 1 week today in our first pre-season game. I mean, Are we going to have Onana by then? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Dean Henderson plays next Wednesday for us. I wouldn't. Yeah, as people said in the chat, like the way he spoke about Manchester United last season, I really, really don't rate him. I don't think he's a good person to have around the club. I don't. We don't need people like that who have such high egos. That, you know, I just don't like it. We need people who play for Manchester United, not who play for themselves. And I think that Dean Henderson, Harry Maguire are all people that too care about their own image and what people think about them, and they don't care about Manchester United. So let's just hope that Manchester United get rid of Dean Henderson. We know that he's heavily linked to Nottingham Forest. Let's hope that they can get that move over the line and get him out of our club, because we don't need him here anymore, to be completely honest with you. I think he needs to go. I really, really do. All right, so we've got another quote coming in here from Andy Mitten. So he says one of his sources at Manchester United has told him this about Mason Mount. Great lad, great attitude and ability. He was desperate to join Manchester United and he's desperate to win. I mean, yeah, okay. So we will get the official Manchester United, pictures of Mason Mount today. Please do smash a like on the video, guys, if you haven't already. It doesn't cost any money. Let's get the likes up. Let's get more people in the chat. Let's just, increase the conversation. Let's have a read of a few more things we've got for today. So we've got another story coming out in the last few minutes. This is coming from Manchester Evening News saying Manchester United are set to recommence talks with David De Gea soon. Whether he agrees to extend his contract will be decisive when it comes to the profile of goalkeeper United pursue this summer. A source insists they have several tactical options for this window. So, I mean, I'd say it's still completely up in the air whether David De Gea stays. I really do. Manchester Evening News are literally saying that they're going to hold talks with David De Gea soon, and depending on how the outcome of that meeting goes, they'll decide what they do next. So it does seem like we're sitting on our hands a little bit, doesn't it? Like, we need to be a bit more decisive in the transfer window. We need to say, this is what we want. We don't want David De Gea anymore. Goodbye. You can't just, wheel him along for the next 2 or 3 weeks in case we can't get another goalkeeper. I mean, it's not really all right, is it? The other thing I wanted to remind you guys as well about, just on the Mason Mount one, there was a tweet from Fabrizio Romano, I think it was in May or June, saying that Mason Mount was Liverpool's #1 target this summer. I mean, that's crazy, isn't it? So anybody saying, oh, Mason Mount, whatever, like Liverpool wanted Mason Mount, they did. So we have actually done quite well in getting that deal over the line. Whether me or you think that's a good deal or not is up for you to decide. But like, other clubs did want him, they did. Someone saying Manchester Evening News, credible. Sorry, that quote that I actually read out was from The Athletic. It was from Andy Mitten in The Athletic saying that Manchester United are going to hold talks with David De Gea in the coming days, kind of thing. Are Manchester Evening News reliable? That's a good question. I mean, to be honest with you, Manchester Evening News, they kind of they don't really come up with many of their own stories. They kind of put out stories that they've got from other places. That's kind of what Manchester Evening News is. It's more of like a website that reposts other people's stories, if that makes sense. So they never say at any point, like, this is 100% true. They just put out a story that's someone else has put out. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's quite hard to say whether, like, they're reliable or not. Right, let's read out a few more comments quickly. Mr. Phil says, De Gea should go, guys. Otherwise, we will have a repeat of last season where he just disappoints us on the most critical moments. Yeah, I do agree with you, but I think at the moment, if we can get David De Gea to agree to reduce terms and to be a backup goalkeeper, then I think we should do it. I really, really do. Like, why would we not do that? But obviously, that's up for you to decide whether you think that you want him at the club or not. Me personally, I would keep him around for one more season. Let's have a look. Yeah, someone says it's time for Erik ten Hag to tell Harry Maguire he's not the captain anymore. Yeah, 100% agree with you. Right, let's move on to this bit about Rio Ferdinand, because I know a lot of you guys are obviously excited about the takeover. So let's talk about the takeover. I wanted to go through all the news first for the first half an hour of the show, because I do want to bring the news to you guys. I don't want to just talk about the takeover constantly, because it does get a bit tiresome. So we've talked about all of the kind of ingoings and outgoings, which I hope you guys appreciate. Let's move on to the takeover stuff. So obviously we spoke at length yesterday about the takeover, and we've got a quote here from Rio Ferdinand. So the headline is, Rio Ferdinand makes Sheikh Jassim admission. Okay, so this is coming from his 5 YouTube channel. Rio Ferdinand says, I think the Qataris have gone as far as they're going to go. I think they've gone as far as they're going to go with the bid. This is them. This is their final offer. It's a take it or leave it situation. I can't see it being anything else other than that. I can't see the statement being anything else, but we are here, we're at the table, but we're being held back. So what Rio Ferdinand seems to have been hinting at is that, you know, what's going on is that Qatar have put their final offer in, okay? Qatar have put their final bid in. It's take it or leave it. They're not going to put another bid in. Either the Glazers take it or they walk away. That's pretty much what he thinks, which, to be honest with you, I do agree with. I can't see Qatar putting in another offer now. I can't. I think it is a take it or leave it bid. They've put their best offer on the table. They're paying well over what Manchester United is worth. Either the Glazers take it, or they walk away. Obviously, we had that story coming out yesterday from Al Raya, the Qatari-based newspaper, saying that a decision was hours away. Obviously, that caused a lot of excitement in the community. But when I actually thought about it at length, I was like, well, I'm just reading it again now. Yeah, so it says, I mean, they have kind of lied here because they do actually say within the next few hours. I mean, what's a few? Let me have a look. What is a few? Hold on, let me just check this for you guys. So the exact quote was this, guys, all right? It says, Manchester United purchase contracts will be signed off by the Glazer family that owns the club within the next few, emphasize the word few, hours, okay? If you Google what few means a small number. I have fewer, blah, blah, blah. So they have said a few. I thought they just said it will be done in hours. So I don't know. I am a bit confused about this because, as I said yesterday, there is supposedly a 5-year prison sentence for putting out false news. So yeah, I don't know. It is confusing, guys. It really, really is. And the fact that Rio Ferdinand is saying that, you know, Qatar have put their kind of final bid in, it's a take it or leave it bid. And as people say in the chat, like, I'm 99% sure that Rio Ferdinand will be getting his information from Qatar or from at least somebody associated with the bid, because you've got to remember, I just want you guys to remember this, okay? When we're talking about sources and all the rest of it, part of Qatar Sheikh Jassim's plan was to bring back Manchester United legends in ambassador roles, okay? He said that from the beginning. There was a story about a month ago, wasn't there, where Sheikh Jassim was thinking of bringing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back to the club in some capacity as an ambassador. So we are expecting, maybe it's Rio, maybe it's Ollie, maybe it's David Beckham. We are expecting these types of Manchester United legends to be associated again with the club, whether it's as an ambassador, whether it's as a, you know, part of a commercial deal, etc., etc. So I do think there's a chance that he is getting, you know, his information from Qatar, because I'm sure that somebody within the Qatar camp would have probably reached out to him and said, would you be interested in being an ambassador for Manchester United if we get the club, blah, blah, blah. So I do think he's relatively legit, you know, but at the end of the day, for a deal of this magnitude, I doubt he's going to be the one leaking it. Obviously, he's putting his neck on the line. There's that video up on the internet with him saying that something big's going to happen tomorrow, okay? That was yesterday. Nothing happened tomorrow. So I don't know. I don't know why he put his neck on the line if it wasn't, you know, if he didn't have some legs to stand on, because otherwise me or you are going to say, well, Rio, you said something was going to happen tomorrow and it didn't, you know? Whereas like on a channel like this, we just talk about what other people say. Like, I'm not going to say Manchester United have told me they're going to sell the club today, because obviously I don't have that information. But someone like Rio does get information like that. So it is a bit weird, and I don't know why he'd put that up on YouTube, because you'd think that Rio Ferdinand wouldn't do it for clicks. Like, he's a millionaire, he does BT, he does, you know, Rio Ferdinand doesn't need us to click on his YouTube video. He makes plenty of money. So I don't know why he'd put that out. And if he did, that's just a bit desperate, to be completely honest with you. But maybe that is the case. Welcome to everybody who's just joining in the last few minutes. Let's have a look at the poll. So it's an absolute landslide on the poll, guys. 92% of you want Onana over Robert Sanchez. For anybody joining late, Manchester United have been linked to Robert Sanchez of Brighton, who is available for around £30 million. Manchester United see him as a cheaper alternative to Onana. DiMarzio, Sky Sports, has reported that Manchester United have put in a fresh bid of €45 million for Onana, but Inter Milan want around 60. So we'll have to keep an eye on that one. I'm 100% going with Onana, guys. I do not want to get Robert Sanchez, to be honest with you. I don't think he's good enough. I would rather keep David De Gea and spend all the money on a striker than get Robert Sanchez. Do smash a like on the video, guys. We've got like 300 people in the live chat and we've got about 80 likes on the video. So do like the video if you haven't already. Doesn't cost any money. Yeah. What? That's a good question, actually. I'm going to start a new poll, okay? Bear with me 1 second, guys. Do smash a like on the video whilst I start a new poll. As Malp said, who's excited for Mason Mount today? I mean, I'm not really excited, but... so the question's going to be, would you like to see Manchester United legends as ambassadors under Qatar? I've probably spelled ambassadors wrong, but I'm trying to write it quickly just so I don't waste your time. All right, let me know in the poll, guys. Would you like to see people like Ollie, David Beckham, Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville back at the club in ambassador roles? Or would you like a whole fresh start? We get rid of all of those people and, you know, yeah. All right, so there's another story coming out this morning, guys, saying that Manchester United, Scott McTominay is attracting interest from Brighton and Roma. I do think McTominay will get his move. I do think it will probably be to Brighton or West Ham, but we've got to keep an eye on that. Yeah, I mean, as Fred says, how much patience do they think the Manchester United fans have? Yeah, I mean, as I said a couple of days ago, it was 222 days since the takeover started. I mean, it's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Like, what on earth is going on? I honestly, imagine if you were a fly on the wall, right, in those meetings with the Glazer family. I mean, what the hell is going on in those meetings? Like, they must literally just be like children in a sweet shop. I want this. I want that. I want to stay at Manchester United. No, I want to stay at... You know, like, what is going on? Like, how does it take that long to make a decision? Like, it's crazy. Like, it's gone past the point of, you know, me trying to justify it by saying, oh, well, they're obviously just trying to bump the price up. Like, nobody's going to put the price up now. Qatar is ultimately going to be like, you either take it or you leave it. They're not going to be able to milk any more money out of it, you know? Welcome, Marama. Marama says, my husband just landed on your page. He likes what you're doing. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Again, thank you to all the new people in the chat. Thank you to all the regulars. Lots of love to everybody. Yeah, do subscribe if you're new and hit the notification bell. We do go live at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. UK time every single day. So yeah, if you're enjoying the content today, do get involved. All right, so we've got some positivity here. Let's get some positivity in the chat. So, someone is saying, I'm so excited about Mason Mount. He is top class. I just don't get some fans who are supposed to know football. Mount will surprise you. I really like that. I like positivity, guys. I try and not be negative on this channel. So yeah, let's all be excited about Mason Mount. Let's hope he does really well. He will be announced as an official Manchester United player today. He will be holding the shirt. Let's try and be excited for that, you know. At the end of the day, guys, at the moment, being a Manchester United fan is pretty bleak. So we're signing a new player. We've taken Chelsea's star boy from them. We've taken somebody who they've said they didn't want to sell. You know, Liverpool wanted them. Other clubs wanted them. We have got ourselves... It's not like we've just gone and bought like Marouane Fellaini, you know. We've gone and got a player that other clubs wanted. Chelsea wanted to keep. So, you know, we've got to try and be a bit positive. We've got to take the little bits of positive in life, don't we? Otherwise, it's just miserable every day, isn't it? It's when's the takeover going to happen? We can't sell any players, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just negative. So, all right, let's read out a few more comments. Do get your comments in if you haven't already, guys. What does everyone think of the setup as well, by the way, now, guys? We've got loads of new red lights and stuff, which I think are pretty cool. I've properly kitted out the room. I've got like 3 red LED lights in the background. So let me know what you think of the setup. Welcome, Abadou. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, I mean, as everyone says, I know we're all sick of this transfer, you know, this takeover saga, but it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. We've just got to be patient. I know we've all been patient. It's been 9 months, but there's nothing we can do. You know, we've tried everything we can do. We really have. I'm just having a quick look at what else we've got on to talk about on this show this morning. I got a bit derailed there, as you do with the takeover stuff. I always find whenever I talk about the takeover, I just get really passionate and end up ranting, you know. So I do apologise about that. You know, if that becomes annoying, then obviously please do just let me know and I'll stop ranting about it. But you know, when you're passionate about something and you feel like you're being mugged off, it does get upsetting, doesn't it? Right, where are we? One thing that I do want to remind you guys actually is that all of the players return to Carrington tomorrow, okay? All of the players will return to Carrington tomorrow, and that's when meetings will start happening between Manchester United and those players that are going to leave the club. So I do think that we'll start seeing a real flurry of people leaving in the next kind of week or so. I really, really do. I mean, I'm going to say this now, right? This is going to be controversial, but I like to give my opinions to you, whether you like them or not, just because that's the point of this channel, you know, to share opinions. I honestly would rather at this point, right, that we get news tomorrow that Maguire's leaving, that McTominay's leaving. Like, I honestly think it's so important that we get the deadwood out of the club. Like, that is the most important thing for me right now. I think Sheikh Jassim's going to win the club. I don't think the Glazers are going to stay, right? So I just hope that before Sheikh Jassim does get the club, we do start seeing players leave, because the last thing we want is for McTominay, Maguire, all of these people who don't have a future at the club to go on the plane like we don't want them to go on the pre-season tour. It makes no sense. It just complicates things. It really, really does. So let's just hope that not only we get some takeover news, but that we also get players leaving the club. We've got nearly 300 of you in the chat this morning. That is absolutely amazing. So do subscribe if you haven't already, and smash a like on the video. We've got a few more things to talk about this morning. If there's anything else that you guys want to talk about, do let me know in the live chat, and I will, I'm happy to, for the last kind of 15 minutes of the show, I'm happy to kind of let you guys narrate it. So if there's anything you want to talk about, put a message in the live chat and we can do that for the end. Right, hold on, let me just have a sip of water. Right, anyway, guys, let's carry on with the show. It's important to stay hydrated, guys. It is. So make sure you're drinking enough water. Right, where are we? Anybody just joining late, Manchester United have put in a 45 million euros bid for Onana of Inter Milan. Inter Milan wants 60 million. So hopefully by the time we go on pre-season tour, which is next week, we will get Onana at the club. I do think he'll be the second signing. So JJ says, did you see the report said expected? Let me have a look. So we're talking about the takeover again now, guys. Yeah, it does say expected, to be fair. I mean, yeah, so yeah, you are right, JJ. The report does say expected. It does. Anybody just joining in the last few minutes, we have been talking about some new words that have come out from Rio Ferdinand. I know he was kind of teasing that something big was happening, and you know, tomorrow something was happening and all the rest of it, but I did a little bit more reading into what he actually said, and he said, this is their final offer. It's a kind of take it or leave it type situation. Yeah, so Rio Ferdinand is kind of putting out there that he thinks that the Qatar's latest offer is take it or leave it. They've played all their cards. This is what we're going to do. You either take the money or we walk away, pretty much. And I do think they'll take the money. I do. I think they'll take the money. We've just got to be patient. I know we've been being patient, guys. And I know every day we think that today's going to be the day. I honestly did yesterday thought today's going to be the day. It's Independence Day. It was poetic. Yeah, but it is what it is, isn't it? There's nothing we can do about it. Right, let's read out a few more comments. Someone's saying, David De Gea needs some self-respect and not sign a contract if the club offers it. The club did him dirty. Ain't no way he stays. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. At the end of the day, David De Gea will decide whatever's best for himself, you know? Whoever's going to pay him the most money and whatever's best for his family, that's what he'll do. Yeah, so that's what David De Gea would do. But we are expecting David De Gea to come back to Manchester United in the coming days. Obviously, he's a free agent, so he can ask for whatever he wants, really. He's already had offers from Saudi Arabia, and he's already had offers from Fenerbahce. We've got a bit of clarity on the Mason Mount, the deal, if anybody's interested in that. So, as you guys know, it was £55 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Apparently, the £5 million in add-ons are strongly dependent on Manchester United being successful. United would need to win multiple trophies over the coming seasons, with Mason Mount playing the majority of the game. So, ultimately, if Mason Mount wins trophies with us, they'll get their 5 million. If he doesn't, then we won't. So let's hope we win trophies, you know? Because 5 million isn't very much money, is it, as an add-on? Right, let's have a look at how we're doing here, guys. Anybody new, please do subscribe, hit the notification bell. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. Let's see how quickly we can get to 3,000. Let's have a look at what else we've got. Yeah, all right, so here we go. So Sky Sports, literally in the last 30 minutes, are saying Inter Milan are anticipating another bid from Manchester United for goalkeeper Andre Onana. So this is coming in from Sky Sports News. DiMarzio said that they'd put in a 45 million euro bid. So I do think that we will get an Onana, here we go, in the kind of next, hopefully in the next 24 to 48 hours, but I just don't know what's going on with David De Gea, you know? Like, why are we still talking to David De Gea if we're signing Onana? Like, I don't really get it. It does worry me, it does. And then we're being linked to players like Robert Sanchez. It's like, we need clarity on what's going on. We need to know that, you know, the people at Manchester United know what they're doing, because otherwise it just looks like a complete mess, doesn't it? It really does. Right, let's read out a few questions quickly. Let's have a read of a few. We're not talking about Mason Greenwood again, unfortunately, guys. We talk about him every single stream. I don't like Mason Greenwood isn't playing for Manchester United next season. That's. I mean, if he does, I'll be absolutely shocked. I really, really will. All right. So Terry says one day the Glazers will sell. Glazers just want every little cent out of Manchester United. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, to be honest with you, let's just be real here. The backlash that the Glazers will get if they stay at the club will be absolutely. Honestly, it will be horrible. Like, it'll be like, I can't even imagine what the backlash will be if the Glazers say that they're going to stay. Like, it will be terrible, guys. It really, really will. They have to go. They do. They do have to go. I don't know what's holding it up. It is so frustrating. I do appreciate that, guys. I really, really do. Yeah, it's just so frustrating, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, there's still that story floating around from yesterday saying, oh, it's hours away. But, I mean, hours have passed now, haven't they? It's been about 12 hours since we spoke about that story from the Qatar newspaper, and nothing's happened. So I'm sat here frustrated. I'm sure you guys are as well. Luckily, I did get some sleep last night. I know some people were probably tossing and turning thinking, yeah, Dan says, I don't care about transfers until Sheikh Jassim gets the club. I mean, I do agree with you in some ways, but like, imagine, right, so picture this, guys, all right? Imagine Sheikh Jassim gets the club, okay? But then we still have Maguire, we still have McTominay, we still have all of this deadwood. We're still going to be in a bad situation. Like, we need to sell players so we can then spend more money. Somebody in the chat is saying, I think the Glazers are not selling. My heart is broken. I mean, that is a sad message, isn't it? That's a very damning message on this Wednesday morning. Like, I hope you're doing all right, mate. I hope you're, feeling okay. I hope it's not getting to you too much. I do appreciate that this is like, it really is messing with people's mental health. And I hate seeing messages like this someone saying I'm heartbroken. Like, I hope you're doing well. Try and stay positive. Know that you've got this community here. You can come here. We can all chat. We can try and, comfort each other a little bit in this time, because I do appreciate that it is just a bit bleak at the moment. It really is. Yeah, guys, as I said, I just want to re-emphasize, everyone's mental health is so important. So I know, like, if you are struggling with anything with this, like, just try and take some time off it. Like, honestly, just don't watch these videos. Don't watch other channels. Just try and take some time away from it. I did that a couple of weeks ago. I took like a week away from it, and I stopped going on Twitter, and it was really good. And nothing happened in that week, because nothing ever seems to happen at the moment. So if you are struggling, if it is really getting to you, then maybe do just take, even if it's just for a day, I deleted Twitter for like a week and then went back on it, and yeah, mental health is important. So I thought it was worth mentioning. I don't like seeing messages like people saying I'm heartbroken and all the rest of it, like, just, I don't know. And maybe people are like, why are you talking about this? But I do think it's important, because I know how emotionally draining supporting Manchester United can be. And at the end of the day, guys, I know Manchester United is, so important to us, but there are other things in the world. There's family, there's, blah, blah, blah. Okay, anyway, that's enough of that rant. I just don't like seeing people upset. So anyway, sorry for getting a bit emotional there, guys, but I do think it's important. Right. I do think Sheikh Jassim will win the club, though. I do, okay? You can say, well, I don't know what, this guy knows nothing, blah, blah, blah. But I am confident he will get the club. That's my opinion. So just stay positive. And if you do need to take some time away from social media, go and do that, That's all you can do, okay? Because honestly, like, social media can really get you down, guys. So if you are feeling down about this and it is really getting to you, if you're not sleeping, like, honestly, don't watch my videos. I have no issue with it, Obviously, I'd rather you watch my videos, but if it is getting to you, like, please do go and take some time away, spend some time with family, go and do some nice things, go out for a walk, whatever it might be, because this community will still be here for you when you come back. We're not going anywhere. Obviously, we'd love for you to stay, but if you do need to take some time out, just go and do that for yourself. And just be positive. Like, I do think Sheikh Jassim will get the club. We might just have to wait a bit longer. Anyway, I do think that was important to say, guys, and I know some people might be like, I don't care, but you know, anybody who's suffered with mental health, you know, everybody has had I have had mental health problems in the past, so I do think it's important to address that issue, especially with other men, because you know, it's such a grey area with men, guys, like mental health. Like, people think it makes you seem weak or whatever, but I honestly think, from my own experience, I think you become more of a man when you speak out about your own mental health problems. I really, really do. I think that's such an important thing to do, guys. So don't feel like you're not masculine if you speak out about mental health, or if you do need to take some time away, or you do need to speak to a friend. Like, honestly, I would always advise that. So yeah, that's my little section on that. I know this isn't a mental health channel, but I know that probably 99% of the people in this chat are men, and I do think it's important to say. Yeah, as somebody says in the chat, even if Sheikh Jassim gets the club now, this transfer window's dead. We have to wait until next summer. We do. Like, so just remember that. I know it's really depressing and you want things to happen and everyone wants to be positive, but even if Sheikh Jassim gets the keys today, like, it's not going to make a massive difference right now. It's not like overnight we're going to be signing, you know, Mbappe or whoever it is you want to sign. It's going to take time. It will. They've got to sort out so many things behind the scenes. They've got to get rid of Deadwood. They'll need to bring in, you know, they need a new shirt sponsor. They need a new airline sponsor. There's all these things that are going to take time, and it's going to take a while before we actually are in a position to be buying all these players. And, you know, it might be painful for the first year or so, guys. It might be. You have to remember that. It's not guaranteed to work. Like, I'm just trying to be realistic, okay? Temple Priest says, I didn't know this was a doctor's surgery. It was only because someone in the chat said that they were heartbroken and they were so sad, and I thought, well, it wouldn't be very responsible of me to ignore a comment like that when, you know, somebody could actually be really going through something, you know? So, yeah. And ultimately, all I was telling them to do was to not watch my channel, which ultimately doesn't benefit me in any way. So, you know, it's not like I'm actually giving out, you know, advice. I'm just saying, if it's getting to you, then don't watch me, even though I'd rather you watch me, you know? So anyway, enough of that. I'm sure most of you in the chat understand why I brought that up. So yeah, if you don't, then that's fine. But yeah, so Dan says, Jim Ratcliffe doesn't have the money. He's tied up in assets. He is borrowing to finance. We need a new stadium. Carrington is a mess. Women's team needs upgrading. He won't clear the debt. 100%, guys, 100%. Just remember this, okay? The positive is, in the last month, that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is effectively out of the race. He is. That's been widely reported. He's out of the race. He can't afford the club. He's borrowing the money to buy half the club. He can't build a stadium. Like, when was the last time we spoke about Sir Jim Ratcliffe, guys? Like, tell me. I think we've probably spoken about him maybe, like, a dedicated video, maybe 5 times since I started the channel. Every single video is about Qatar. It's about, you know, Sheikh Jassim. It's all positive. It is. Like, he's not going to get the club. And the Glazers staying would cause the biggest storm, right? It would be so bad that all options, all roads point to Sheikh Jassim. They do. Come on. Let's be real about it. They do. And at the moment, I know it's like a yo-yo. It's one day it's happening today, the next day it's happening tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. But you've just got to know what you think inside, you know? Make up your decision for yourself. I know it's not up to me or you, but if you think deep down that Sheikh Jassim's going to get the club, then just, you know, just... Someone says, the doctor will see you now. I'm not going to lie, guys. My dad is a counsellor, so maybe that's where I get it from. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not by any means giving out medical advice, by the way, guys. I'm just giving my own experience that if you are struggling mentally, then just take some time away from social media. That's just from my own experience, okay? I'm not a trained doctor, so... Someone is saying, all right, this is a bit of a throwback comment. Someone's saying, Sheikh Jassim is only worth 1 billion, though. Well, I think we all know where Sheikh Jassim's getting his money from, don't we? He's part of the Qatari royal family. He is, I think, the head of the Qatari investment bank or something. He, you know, so I think we know where the Qatar money is really coming from. So let's, you know, maybe Sheikh Jassim's personal net worth is only 1 billion, but I think we know where the money is actually coming from, don't we, realistically? Yeah, and that's why the rival fans don't want it, realistically, isn't it? That's why the fans don't want it, the enemy fans, because they know where the money's coming from. They know what Sheikh Jassim actually, you know, represents. All right, Jim says, if this takeover goes on much longer, it could even affect the January transfer window. I hope it doesn't. I don't think so. I think we'll know what's going on by the time the season starts. I do. Okay. Yeah, I do think that by the time the new season starts, we'll know what's going on. We have to. We have to know. Like, at the end of the day, the Glazers are stalling, right? Because there's no games. They can't protest, right? As soon as matches are back at Old Trafford, if still nothing's happened, every single game there'll be protests. Fans will be walking out of the stadium. Like, they're not doing anything because the only way that we can protest is on the internet. And they didn't pay attention to anybody on the internet, let's be real. There's no way on earth that the Glazers look on, Glazers out trending. They won't. They don't care. Welcome to everybody just joining in the last few minutes. Yeah, I mean, in relation to the person above who said that, Sheikh Jassim's only worth $1 billion, like, at the end of the day, he's the head of the Qatari investment bank. So, yeah, we know where the money's coming from. We do. Someone says, I don't want state ownership. All right, let's ask that question, okay? Let's do a poll quickly. Because at the moment, everybody thinks it's Sheikh Jassim buying the club, okay? Do you want state ownership of Manchester United? So this is assuming that it's not actually Sheikh Jassim buying the club. He's buying it, kind of on behalf of Qatar, which isn't supposedly what's happening, okay? All right, get involved in the poll. So imagine if it is actually a state ownership bid. Do you want that? Are you happy with that, or do you not want that? Do you only want the club if it's actually Sheikh Jassim buying it with his personal wealth, or would you be happy with state ownership? As Terry said, where is Billy? Terry, Billy was actually in the chat earlier on, Billy Marsh. For those of you who know, Billy is a legend of the chat. He's the Liverpool fan who infiltrated us yesterday and got put in his place. Right, how are we doing? Let's have a look. Let's try and hit 200 likes by the let's try and hit 200 likes by the end of the video. Apparently, Dan Smith says Sheikh Jassim has liquid assets of 400 billion. I mean, I hadn't heard that before, but right, let's have a look if we've got anything else to talk about on today's show. Where are we? Okay. I mean, to be honest with you guys, today is probably going to be focused around Mason Mount deal. We will obviously go live. All right, this is a great question from Fred. We've got 4 minutes left of the video, so do smash a like on the video, guys, and subscribe if you are new. I'm going to read out a couple of questions before we end the stream. It's been a really good stream today again, guys. Big ups to everybody in the chat. Fred says, what's your best guess as to why the delay, Kieran? I think that's a really good question. So, Fred has asked me why I think there's a delay. I mean, it's been reported, so this isn't my opinion. The issue is the 6 Glazers, right, who own the club. They all have a say. They all have a different opinion on what they want to do. It's been reported that Joel and Avram want to stay and the rest of them want to sell. So I assume it's just a battle between all of the different owners to try and come to a conclusion. That's what I think it is. Joel and Avram want to stay. They wanted to get into bed with Sir Jim Ratcliffe. That deal's fallen through. So now it is literally just a case of, can they convince Joel and Avram? I think that's all that's holding it up. It's Joel and Avram. It has to be. Like, the others definitely want to sell. So I think we will get it, guys. I think we do. Let's try and stay positive. Jihan says, we need super wealth to win anything. This is how football works now. I don't care as long as we have money to compete with City, Liverpool, Newcastle and Arsenal. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I completely agree. At the end of the day, as I've said to you on multiple videos, Manchester United never needed super wealth. They didn't. If the Glazers hadn't destroyed the club, we would have enough money off our own back to be successful. We would. The Glazers have taken £1 billion out of Manchester United since they joined the club, right? They take out dividends every year. They take out the debt repayments. They've taken out £1 billion over the last 18 years and they've spent nothing. Imagine how better off we would be if we had an extra £1 billion. Like, we wouldn't need super wealth. We wouldn't. We make enough money by ourselves as it is. The Glazers have put us in this position. They have. That's the black and white of it. We don't need super wealth, but because of what the Glazers have done to us, we now do. That's the situation, okay? That's why we need super wealth. It's because of the Glazers. It is. You only have to look at the kind of financial side of it to work that out. So, yeah, right. I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. Please do subscribe if you're new, and please do smash a like on the video on your way out. We will, of course, go live if there's any more breaking news throughout the day, as always. If not, we'll speak at 6 p.m, but I'm 99% sure we'll probably be live again in the next few hours with another story to bring to you all. So please do subscribe on your way out. And yeah, please do hit the notification bell. I'll speak to you guys later. It's been a really, really good stream this morning. Lots of love to you all. I hope you have a lovely day or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And if you do need to take some time out from social media or whatever, then obviously if you would like to do that, then I would suggest doing it. It really does help clear your head. So lots of love to you guys. Peace out. It's been a great stream today. I'll catch you guys later.